Hey guys, what's going on? In this video I'm going to show you what I did yesterday in Market Navigator by Jeff Williams of RagingBull.com. So I'm trying to spend time in these trade rooms and take their trades and then show you what happens. It's a difficult job, there's a lot of stuff to do, like there's a lot of these rooms, and I'm trying to focus on this one for the next week or so. Partly because it's so good, but also just because it fits my trading style at the moment, which is trading SPY options or the E-minis for these funded accounts. So quick overview of what Market Navigator actually is. A lot of people love this service. It's very consistent. This is the landing page. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can come and check out my full review, including a link to this page where you get a discount on Market Navigator. The reason a lot of people like this, it's twofold. One, is very consistent, and two, it's just a SPY trade, sometimes two trades a day, but just on the ticker SPY, right? So makes things simple. You get an email at 9 AM, which basically just gives you the plan for the day, and that changes. But the cool thing is he has a chat room. So the chat room basically is live for the first couple hours of the day, takes a break at lunch, comes back and does another session in the afternoon. So it's really good for beginner traders. People aren't that confident, they can get his running commentary on the live stream. He's really good at what he does. He's done it for a decade or so, and he's really good at teaching. He used to be an elementary school teacher alongside Jason Bond. And so he puts a lot of focus on transparency and being helpful to the subscribers. And that includes like basically walking you through every trade, explaining his losses as well. And I think it's one of the best services out there. If you have the time, especially if you have the time to sit in the trade room in the mornings for the first couple of hours. Sometimes these trades last an hour, sometimes they can be swing trades. I tend to try and get out of them quicker though, so I don't like to hold the swing trades in particular, especially in this market. The vast majority are day trades on SPY options though, so again, I think this is true on their landing page, honest, transparent and immensely educational. I really think that's true, and I'll show you the exact trades I did and the exact trades that Jeff did yesterday as well. So the first thing you get is the email, so I'll show you yesterday's email first, which was right here. So it comes out round about an hour before market opens, and it's his basically overview of everything that's happened, including the futures, including European markets. So this is a really good service to have just if you're looking to basically keep an eye on the general overall market, right? So I often use it for that. Helpful economic calendar comes out. As you know, if you've been trading a lot in the last year or so, the economic calendar is one of the most important things. You need to know what's happening when it's happening, because it completely will change how the market reacts, and people are getting chopped to pieces if they don't understand the reactions to some of these things. And so that's what happened yesterday, and I'm going to talk through that a little bit as well about why the plan changed here. See, he's a technical analysis expert basically. He's one of the best, and he goes through what he thinks will happen based on the market technicals, but also on the taking into account what might happen with like the banks. So this was a big one yesterday. He talked about basically what will happen if the banks beat their estimates, which they did, and they all rallied really nicely. So I think if we go down here, you can see he talks about his key areas. CPI was on Wednesday. Just go to show what I was getting, just looking through this. Ultimately, in the short term, I think we're heading higher, even if we see a smaller pullback today. So you get this overview. He talks about the trading plan, which is down here. And so let's have a look at this to start with. So he says, today I'll be watching the 8:30 AM data, but more importantly, I'll be watching to see what happens. Assuming the bank's coming okay, I think we could see a push towards 416. So if we look at the chart from yesterday, this is the start of yesterday's price action. We had this amazing rally. We're so excited about this. It's like, yes, it's going, it's going, it's going. And it did. It went up to 415-ish very quickly. So Jeff got that pretty much spot on. And so he was thinking about doing calls. So this is where things definitely start to, you have to start to adapt to the price action. So he was looking at doing calls based on this, but he failed to pull the trigger. So this is, real life. So his plan was to basically do calls, but he held off, and he realized it was just getting a little bit too late. So he went to his audible trade, or his backup trade, which is this one, and did a very similar. He did this twice actually, I'll show you those trades in details in a couple of minutes. So he realized that the market basically ran, and he knew it was going to pull back basically, and so he was looking for a 416 reversal. It didn't quite get to 416, but it hit the 415s. and he started to take put trades to the downside, which worked really well yesterday. So that's the morning email that came out. The thing is, with the morning email, you need to also come into the chat room, and that's, I think, something to consider if you're going to buy this program. And you basically have to be able to go in and listen to his commentary, even if you can't particularly trade. It's helpful just to have him playing in the background a lot of times. Anyway, make sure you go and check out the full review. I'm going to keep updating this Market Navigator review with trades I take and then other stuff I discover about this program as I spend more and more time analysing it. I've been a member for a long time now, but I haven't spent a lot of time doing these types of reviews on it. I think it's about time that changed. So yeah, so let's go to the actual trades. So I took some screenshots. Let's go. So what was cool yesterday is the whole trading session for me only lasted about an hour and a half. So he was live for the first hour and a half, and I took 2 trades that he suggested in those times. Both of them were SPY puts. So the first one was actually an unofficial one, so I'm not really going to talk about that as much. It was just one that he was talking about in the trade room, didn't really alert it. He went with the official trade of the day, which is the one you're kind of promised as a subscriber. He went with this one right here. So you bought April 21st, 417 puts at 408, targeting 450s and 470s. So he's not looking for huge runs. He's looking for 10, 15% on these things, and he usually gets it. I'll show you his track record again in a few minutes as well. So if we look to see, I took some screenshots. So let's zoom out, try and see these. So this was yesterday's session. 2 trades that were done in 40 minutes. Morning session lasted about 90 minutes. I completed the trades in 40 minutes, by the way. Actually, a lot shorter time than that for most of them. And so this was his official alert right here. So it came out in the notification thing, about to buy April 21st, 417 puts. One thing worth noting here is you do get these via the app. I don't think you get them via email, at least I don't. And so he said this. The other comment which was nice was he actually did give a stop loss. I've noticed these a little bit. I'd say it's definitely one criticism is you don't often get solid like this is the stop. He'll just kind of casually mention it and it's kind of up to you, which is fine, but sometimes it's nice to have more guidance on that. The other day I did a trade where he didn't really give a stop loss, but I figured out roughly what I was comfortable with and just put a stop loss, and it turned out it was 416 as well. Or no, it was 411 the other day. Anyway, and he basically, so when this came out, I bought, these are the orders down here. I got filled at 409. I was really slow and sloppy yesterday on most of my trades. It was pretty bad. But you can see I bought them an hour behind, so you can see I bought them there, and 409. And then these 2 3 sell orders, trying to get it so you guys can see this properly. Let's zoom in a bit. So ignore the 416 middle one here because we're just talking about the 417s at the moment. And so I sold them 10% higher, 449. So 409 to 449. And if you look at the time on here, it was only 10-15 minutes. And so on the chart, that corresponds to getting in here. This is the 1 minute chart, and then selling down here. So this was the whole move. This is the 1 minute chart. This is the SPY 1 minute from Friday. So yeah, and so I did that one. I also did another one which he alerted, but it was like the unofficial one. So you can see I made 800 on the official one. I made 845 on the 416 puts, which he just, like I said, wasn't the official mention for the day. And again, that was a longer trade for me. I entered in, take the time here. See, these are the 416 puts right here. Try and make it big enough. Entered earlier, so this was definitely, he got in a little bit earlier on the 416s, which was kind of freaking people out, I guess, because 416s were around here, and we really did continue to rally, all the way up to the 415 area. So it was definitely, takes a little bit of confidence in some of these trades, don't always work, so it's almost like he's averaging in on this move up, but he was using 2 different puts contracts. Anyway, he did a much better job than I did. I'm just going to reset this stupid TOS thing, always does this to me. So if you look for the rest of the day, this actually continued down really nicely. So we were entering puts up here, those 417s. I was selling here, he was selling away down here somewhere, and it continued lower as well. So he did a lot better job. I think he got, so if we look at what he actually officially put here, he got the 417 puts at 408, And then he held for an hour or something, and I'll show you where he sold. So Market Navigator sold half of. Oh, so yeah, so the other thing is he did have some other puts from the other day, which I actually got out of for a profit, and he ended up cutting a loss on those. But because he was patient, he was able to get out a lot better prices. So, and he talks everybody through that, which I really like. I really think it's a good part of the service, is he doesn't hide those things. People will ask him, hey, are you still holding your puts? And he'll be like, yep, here they are, this is what I'm doing. So it's definitely one of my favourite services at the moment. It was a tough week for it as well, but overall I did really nicely on it. So it's pretty good. Yeah, so he got the 5s on that, so he definitely got a bigger win than I did on those puts, but pretty good. The other thing I like, which I talk about in these reviews a bit, is he does keep a good track record. Not completely sure where these BA calls are coming from. I think they were calls. I think he joined Ethan Harms and Lotto X, and he hit like an 865% winner. So these have updated. Yesterday's trades haven't updated from the SPY Navigator room though, so it's a bit annoying because I wanted to show you the actual things. But yeah, so I think that covers it. I think one last thing I wanted to show you is a couple of just brief testimonials from people in the room yesterday. So people seem to love this. They were saying, great timing for the second put. Thanks, Jeff. Made my week. This guy was like, it's helpful for you to share with us wins and losses and lessons for each. And I think that's where, if you're just looking for alerts, you're probably, you'll still love the service. It's only a few $100s a year. So you'd still love the service if you're just looking for alerts, but if you're looking for actual, essentially one-on-one mentoring, because he answers every single question. If you type it into chat, he'll answer you via, his live stream. He'll say, hey, Russell, yep, the answer to your question is this. It's essentially one-on-one mentoring. It's that good. It's really cool. And so I think if you're learning, I think it's one of the best rooms you could try if you're looking to do SPY options. Again, one of the things that I'm getting into a lot is this idea of funded accounts where you can take the E-mini contracts instead of SPY, so you can use Market Navigator as a way to try and get your account funded, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say today about Market Navigator and Jeff Williams. It's something that I highly recommend. Again, if you look in the link in the description below, it'll take you to my full review of this, where I give more details about different trades, some more videos, a lot of my other YouTube videos that I've done on this. It will be linked in that article. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.